Hey everybody, welcome back to the Working Man's Whiskey. I'm Bobby. Guys, today's review I'd like to do is a familiar name. I've reviewed 3 Ezra Brooks products in the past 5 reviews, I want to say. The reason for that, guys, is I think I told you before, Ezra Brooks products haven't been available around here. Haven't been seeing them since I started doing these reviews, and now all of a sudden they're just popping up left and right. So we did first we did the Ezra Brooks blended bourbon, then we did the Ezra Brooks rye. This is the one that I've been looking forward to doing though. This is the one that I've been looking for and have been unable to find. But this is the 90 proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, sour mash right here. And guys, Ezra Brooks, it's good stuff. But the more I kind of read about Ezra Brooks, the more of a mystery there is. If anybody can help me out there, with some of my questions, that'd be great. It's tough to find. You guys know I love to find out about history of different bourbons and stuff. This one here, it's tough to. I've read that it's been around since 1960 or so, but I've also read that it's been around for like 7 generations. I've read that it's connected to Luxco and Heaven Hill. Maybe those companies owned it at one point. The bottle really doesn't say anything about either one of those companies, though. It just says distilled and aged in Kentucky by Ezra Brooks Distilling in Louisville, Kentucky. Not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of information out there on Ezra Brooks. Even if you go on the website, it's very limited what they tell you. So it's a bourbon it's a great price. This bottle here was $11.99, guys. Got this for $12 before tax. It's probably $13.50 out the door or something like that. It's a really good value whiskey. Fits right in with the whiskeys we like to review here. It's usually pretty widely available around here. Like I said, it's just now starting to pop up, but a lot of other places I've been, they seem to have Ezra Brooks products. So, that's one of the things I kind of look for. It's cool to review things that are kind of under the radar and that I haven't seen or heard of before. But I like to review things that you guys can go out and find for yourselves and see if you like it. So here we are, Ezra Brooks, as I said. Sorry guys, I'm exhausted. It's been kind of a tough go at work lately. Just a lot of long hours, and it's cold out there. Winter's here. All the more reason to drink some bourbon. It's good bourbon weather. So this one here is Ezra Brooks Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 90 proof. It's 45% ABV. And I'll read you the side of the bottle here. It says, still bottled at an honest 90 proof and aged the old-fashioned way in new charred American white oak barrels. Ezra Brooks is then charcoal filtered for an unmistakable, unforgettable, mellow flavor. Okay. And then the other side says, a genuine sour mash bourbon made using the finest ingredients available. For generations, Ezra Brooks whiskey has been the whiskey for those with a rugged spirit and taste for adventure. So, there it is, Ezra Brooks, guys, and I can't find an age statement on this stuff. Having had this one before, and this is my favorite of the Ezra Brooks line. Having had this, I'd say it's a pretty young whiskey, which no problem. I think it has to be aged for at least 2 years in those oak barrels to be considered a Kentucky straight bourbon. This one here, I'd say, is probably 2 or 3 years old. No problem, guys, as long as it tastes good. You know, that's mainly what we're looking for. A good tasting whiskey at a really good price. So at $12, shoot. I mean, this is definitely one to keep your eyes open for. So let's give it a pour. All right. Okay, so take a look at this, and it's a pretty light color, guys. I mean, it's not the lightest one that we've reviewed. So I'd say, yeah, it's at least probably 2 or 3 years old. I'd give it it's a little darker than a gold. It's like a light amber, I'd say. Let's give it a nose. And on the nose, guys, it's got a pretty classic bourbon smell to it. You do get some, definitely some caramel in there. You get some vanilla, a little bit of wood, and a little bit of spice as well. Let's take a taste. And guys, on the palate and on the nose, kind of smelled it when I put it up to my face to drink it just now. Caught a quick nose of kind of a nuttiness as well. And on the palate, I'm tasting that nuttiness also kind of like a roasted peanut type thing, maybe almost like a peanut brittle type thing. Definitely get some caramel in there. It's got a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of rye spice in there, definitely some wood, and it's got a little bit of burn, guys. I mean, that's to be expected with a pretty young whiskey. It's not a harsh flavor to me. You know, you're gonna get a little bit of that alcohol and at 90 proof. I mean, you know, it's a little higher than your standard 80 proof bourbon. You know, I mean, I love the higher proof whiskeys, guys. I think the higher the proof, the more character you get. And a lot of people, no offense to anybody out there, but a lot of people, especially if you're not a really experienced bourbon drinker or whiskey drinker, the higher proof kind of throws some people off. You know, a lot of people have the same issue with wild turkey. They say it, you know, burns and all this stuff. It's got, you know, the high rye in there. Wild turkey does, but I feel like, you know, you got to look beyond the burn a little bit. Like, you're gonna get a little bit of that burn in the back of your throat for sure with the higher proof whiskeys, but there's also a lot more character in them. This one, I'm not saying that there's a lot of character in it. There is some good character in it, though. There are some good flavors in there, and I think you have to kind of get past the whole burn thing. You know, I've heard people talk about Ezra Brooks, how it burns, and you know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's not a problem for me. There's a lot of stuff that burns way worse than Ezra Brooks. Not to bash on anybody's favorite whiskey out there, but say something like Black Velvet. Black Velvet will burn me up pretty good, in a different way though. I mean, that one just, it's like fire. So, you know, Ezra Brooks it's a good bargain bourbon. You know, it's for $12, guys. I mean, this was a great buy for me, and there are some that I like better around the same price point. You know, I mean, I love Evan Williams, but this one here definitely has a spot in my rotation. It definitely will now that I know where to get it. But yeah, it's definitely got a spot in my rotation. I mean, you talk about some of the the low shelf whiskeys, Evan Williams, even Old Crow. I mean, all Old Crow is Jim Beam, aged 3 years instead of 4. Same juice, guys. And Jim Beam is even pretty reasonable out here. It's about $12 out here, 12 or 13. I think the store down the street has it for $11.99 before tax. So, same price point. Maybe I'll go with Jim Beam over Ezra. Maybe I'll go with Evan Williams over Ezra. But nonetheless, this still has a spot for me. Definitely one that I can sip on, one that I can mix, and you always need that whiskey that you can either sip on or mix depending on how you're feeling and not feel bad about it, So I'm going to take one more sip, see if we get anything else here. There's definitely some good oak in there, guys. As I said, it has its good things and bad things about it. It does have a bit of a burn, which I don't mind. It's not I'm not giving it pro points for burn, but I'm not going to take too many away either. It's just, take it for what it is. It's a good, affordable bourbon, classic bourbon flavor to it. And for a rating, guys, this is still my favorite of the Ezra Brooks products. I'm going to give this an 87. I think I gave the rye, I want to say I gave the rye an 85 or an 86. This one gets an 87. Just for what it is. I mean, it's $11.99. It's not a fancy whiskey, but it's a good tasting whiskey. I really enjoy this one. So, try it out straight. Put a little bit of water in there if you want. Make a cocktail, whatever you want. And that's what this is about, guys. I mean, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get something that you can just have fun with, and enjoy at the same time. So that's it for this one. I'll get back to you guys soon. Not sure what I'm doing next. My birthday's coming up tomorrow, guys, so maybe I'll have a goodie or two coming up before too long. We'll see. But other than that, I hope you guys are having a good Christmas season, good holiday season. Looking forward to Christmas. We got our tree up, decorated. I got to get outside and put some lights up on the house still. I'm slacking a little bit, guys, but my 3-year-old, she's really feeling Christmas this year, so better get those lights up. So anyway, that's going to do it for this one, and I hope you're all doing well. Definitely check out my Facebook page if you haven't yet, The Working Man's Whiskey. Subscribe here, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. And that's it. Until next time, cheers.